Hi, my name is Jane Saar. I'm a ceramicist and a sculptor, and welcome to my studio here in Hastings. Today I'm sharing with you some of my works from the Dungeness series, and this whole project came about because of a bribe. It started about 3 years ago. Before this, I used to make throne tableware and servingware, and then I had a bit of shoulder problem and I wasn't able to do that work anymore, and I was in a lot of pain. And I had some big task that I had to do. I can't even remember what it was now, but it was a big thing and I didn't want to do it. And I thought I'll promise myself a kind of reward, or I did the task, whatever it was, and I earned my reward. And the place I chose was Dungeness. I spent some time staying there and I walked a lot and just soaked it all in. So at that time, I knew that I had to find a new direction for my work, something that I could do physically. I'd long been sort of fascinated by places, by the way they work, what makes them tick, the way we tell their stories, how we experience them. So there was a clue that maybe the new work would be place-based in some way. And the other thing about me is that I'm super, super curious. You know, I'm always asking questions. I'm always looking, wanting to know more, learning about things. And that means that I get bored of the obvious choice and I want to find out more. I want to find the more interesting thing. And that kind of keeps me pushing on and on. So I kept going back to Dungeness. I was looking more, I was experiencing more, I was recording more and reading and just soaking in everything I could find about that place and looking for what those nuggets of interestingness might be. And I don't know about you, what you notice when you go and look around a place. So the thing I really notice is shapes, particularly the shapes of buildings of different structures that I might find there. So while I was looking at Dungeness, I would be drawn to the different kinds of structures that you see there. And I got particularly interested in the functional buildings. And I mean, you could look at them and say, well, the functional buildings are kind of the exoskeleton of the process that happens inside them. So you can kind of read their biography in the structure that they take. And they're designed with a different kind of set of priorities. It's not about design or aesthetics, so they're a bit unusual in the modern world. And they tell us about how cultures do or don't value a particular type of place, depending on what kinds of structures or what kinds of industries, what kinds of functions get put in a particular location. And if you've ever been to Dungeness, you'll know that while there are holiday cottages and there are homes, it's also got military buildings, experimentation structures, and a very large nuclear power station. So it's got a very unusual combination of the kinds of things that we put in out of the way places. And I suppose the other thing, the bottom line, is that these kinds of structures are just more interesting to me. They have more unusual shapes, and that just calls in my attention. So I paid more attention to what interested me, and I found ways to record that with photography and ways to develop ideas using collage and tape drawings, and then ways to make those ideas tangible using clay. They all have their starting point in specific structures that I found there, and they evoke the particular dynamics that I experienced around it, and they're all filtered through the particular process that I work with. So working in this way creates pieces like these, which are not directly representative, but they do capture the forms and the angles of those structures that fascinated me. And they combine the sharp lines of these functional buildings with the kind of haphazard combinations that you see in a place like Dungeness, as well as the natural processes of decay and weathering and patination, which you also find there. And altogether, that combines to evoke the experiences and the dynamics of the place, and to find a way to be with all those ambivalences and to share that with you. If you like the more interesting choice as well, then perhaps it will engage your curiosity and draw you in and make you part of that conversation as well.